I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God loves us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry, because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit, and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger, because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right? Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in on this fine Monday. It's a pleasure to be back with you today. I'm moving the mic around, but I'm pressing the mute button like a professional. And it's a pleasure to be back on this Monday. What can I say? We got a number of things to get into with all of you. A little bit of this and that. Scenes, international and domestic, abroad and at home. And stuff going on. We're going to get into it. I see all of you rolling into the chat on this fine Monday, taking it easy. It's Monday, but you got to get going. The day's been going, and now you're here with the American Anchor Baby. Let me welcome my viewers here on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you, Jules. Loving the energy. Back at you. How you doing, my dad? We're going to leave it like that, okay? That's how as far as we're going to say your name. Stretching your legs over there at Rumble. My viewers here on YouTube, of course, and my people on punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Some of them were local even. Was it a punchy.tv meetup over the weekend? An IRL punchy.tv meetup? You know, you guys got to consider us a later flight next time. I appreciate your style, though. You know, you get it that people are busy. You don't impose. You don't say much. You're like, hey, they just got church open, and I love you guys. We're going to do church together. Then you guys were back out. But, yeah, consider just a slightly later flight. How you doing, Jermaine? Thank you, sir. Says, sup, Nick, the American anchor, baby. Appreciate that, sir. Thanks for the super chat. We'll get to all the supporters and the coffees over the weekend and all that. Buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. And, of course, callers. That's 888-775-3773. You got something on your mind, something you want to talk about. Something you just got to talk about, something you just got to say. Okay. And for everybody else, a little decorum. Okay. A little decorum. Click the like button. Don't be rude. Say hello. Leave a comment. Be a person. Live a little. Breathe. It's like you coming in just grunting. Where's the show? Give me content. Click the like button. Don't be rude. Okay. That's hilarious, Francisco. What's up, Kevin? Mods in the chat. On your best behavior. I mean, I got a number of things on my mind, folks. What can I say? Iran. Iran's heating up. Some interesting things there, you know. A little maybe even history for you. The situation, but also the feminism. There's something so interesting. They're like, this is a feminist movement. Wow. J.K. Rowling and a bunch of people are like, the women are really fighting back against true tyranny, true misogyny. You know, like for real, right, guys? Looks like the women are looking around in America, just looking around after like hating men for decades. They're like, the true misogyny over there, right, guys? Hey, we're still like, because the feminism was still good. It's just that we went too far, right? Meanwhile, it's like men. Dude, who's throwing the Molotov cocktails in Iran? Who said, right? The women, no, they're taking photos with the cigarettes. You're like, Nick, what are you even talking about? I've been on the internet. I've been taking the news in. You're like, you know, what do you mean? Yeah, the ladies in their protests, they're like smoking cigarettes. I'm like, wow, a story as old as time itself. Women liberated. First thing she does, let me kill myself. Let me ingest poisons. What do you do with your liberty? Eve, we'll get into all that. Look, I got my mind is on a number of things, and we'll get into we'll hopefully get into all of it, okay? Okay? 888-775-3773. Don't be rude. Take it easy on this fine Monday. Let's show a little love to the calls while we let some of this percolate. We'll get into the news. Do something a little different, okay? A little love to the calls, 888-775-3773. We'll let it all percolate, okay? Because Iran, I mean, we just got to, like, take a bite out of this, okay? And then, like, the stuff at home, domestically. But, yeah, take it easy. It's nice to see you here on this fine Monday. I see you all in the chat. I want to say hello to Chase. That's Chase in Texas. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Happy New Year, Chase. All is well, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked to you since the New Year.
Oh, yeah, no, you have not. Happy New Year. Happy belated New Year and Merry belated Christmas.
Nice. And are you on speaker?
Yeah. Yes, I need to take it off.
Please, sir. You're just a little tinny.
All right.
We're about to hear you in your full, you know.
Right.
Fullness.
My full coolness.
There
yes.
you are, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So anyway, it's random Negro, right? Just comes into my house.
Hey, slow down. You
yes.
opened up with what? What did you just open up with?
Just random African American.
Those are just factual words, folks. Keep going. He's just describing the situation.
Yes, comes into my house, and he won't leave. Okay, so my girl is in here, and she's like terrified. This dude is not leaving, and she's on the phone with me, and her phone dies. This dude proceeds to just stand in my house while she runs up to the store with no jacket on and just leaves the house, leaves him in here. Just leaves him in here because he locked you inside. He locked her inside, dude.
This is past, right? This is past tense. This is not happening right now.
No, it's not happening right now.
Just making sure you're calling the right place.
Boy, I'd take his head off. I tell you what, for real. But yeah, no, just comes into my place, right? And I'm standing up the street at the VA.
Right.
And
she's there alone. She's calling you, random African American. Black man of America has come into the... Okay, yeah. And then? So Nick, and it'll be a call in, and you can hear it later. Okay. Hello?
Well, you're not going to hear it later. So the cops bring her up here, and I'm like, you know what? F it, just throw her in jail. Yeah, just sleep in the jailhouse tonight. I got to be up here, but no, she insisted I come and take care of the Negro. So
you're still talking to me, right?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
And you're saying you were wondering if that person should be in jail or not? Yeah, that was like a conversation you were having?
Well, hell, if I would have been here, I would have took his head off, boy. So I stay here, and
this is like a true story. A stranger came into the home, didn't hurt anybody, but just didn't want to leave.
Didn't want to leave.
And then you guys called the cops, and they got him out.
Yeah, I couldn't get down here, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. So
you didn't even see any of this?
Well, I couldn't get anyone else I know around the area to answer, so I'm like, okay, cool, I'm calling the cops.
How did he lock her in the home? You can unlock it if you're inside.
But I think she just was panicking and she didn't know what the hell happened. But
well, I'm glad I went fine, sir. I'm glad that nothing bad happened there. But
yeah, right.
Lock your doors, okay? Lock your doors. Maybe don't live. I don't know what kind of area you live in, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to be locked, and also doors unlocked from the inside. If he wasn't being violent from the story you're telling me, she wasn't locked. Remind her, she actually wasn't locked in the home. If they were both in there and he wasn't being violent or stopping her, she could have unlocked it and walked out. Remind her how doors work. Thank you, Chase. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're okay.
Man.
What the?
Yes, and it's a real story. This shit really happened, dude.
Look, I'm not even like, it's not even like that hard to believe. Like, a stranger walking in, if you don't lock your doors. And, maybe, let's be real, Chase. This is not the first time people that you don't want to be in your home have been in your home.
Probably not.
Man. Well, why is that? Why does that keep happening?
Well, I was.
Your spirit's open for this, man.
She left it unlocked, and I told her. I said,
there you go.
Well, was he whacked out? Was he like looking for something? And she's like, no, he came in. This is what he told her. He said, I killed them all and I saved your life twice, is what he told her.
Yeah, it's deranged people that shouldn't even be around. She shouldn't have even been there. And she shouldn't have even called. Like, what do I do? Leave, then call you, maybe. But, Chase, lock that door. And do you have a question or comment?
Home. That's it, man.
Do you have a question or comment on that?
Just lock the door and make sure.
Lock that door and
make sure, man. That's some scary stuff, though. Could you imagine being just a girl by yourself and some random black guy just comes up in your place and sits on your couch and starts telling you that they killed them all?
Yeah. You leave. You leave. That's like that's serious, bud.
Yeah, no. I know. So I'm back home, man. I left the VA and said, no, I think I'm going to go home. Someone's trying to break into my house and do something to her. I'm going to stay and watch everything. So.
Yeah, I don't know how many we've seen now. Like a number, there's been a number now, recently, white women killed by black men, and it's just like motive unknown, and it's just I don't know. He's just off his meds, motive unknown. So I don't know. Just you guys gotta watch your back. It's not a joke. Chase, man, I wish you well in New Year. Thanks for calling me, man.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
That's like a movie. That's wild if that all happened, but not even that hard to believe. But what? I haven't talked to Chase in a bit there. He's always living a wild life. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy, right? How's that go? Someone help me out. You know, who's that? Come on. Right? He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. Yeah, Itch. Call me Steve O. That's that white boy. MGK. Machine Gun Kelly. the lover, the like emotional lover boy with that one woman, with that one witchy woman with many men under her in her belly. Black Widow vibes. Okay, you get it, Megan Fox. Okay. Steve-O. I mean, MGK, he's a wild boy, right? MGK, I'm a wild boy. And all that wilding. And he ended up just finding mama and getting destroyed. Is this a common wild boy thing? Hey, you wild boys. How come this happens about? I'm like, man, I'm a wild boy. There's women in my home. I can't even control it, Nick. They be coming in my house and I can't even control it. And then what happens to the wild boy? He gets destroyed by mama. Anyway, sorry. I'm spending too much time on that. Let's move on. Thank you, little Nick. Is this just like, what's the heck? What is he even talking about? He's a rapper. He's a ex-rapper. Maybe. You guys know Megan Fox. Chase knows. Iran. I'm yelling at you. Apologies. Iran. Sorry, wait. I'm looking at chat. They're rioting. They're like going nuts, okay? They're going nuts. We saw some footage over the weekend on Friday and stuff. We were in the early stages of monitoring the situation, especially because of, like, you know, commentary from the White House. Like, hey, Iran, don't touch those protesters or we'll touch you. And, okay, this spicy stuff, okay? Nothing's happened. There's no reason to be alarmed. Nothing's happened. But if you've been watching any of the scenes, it's just, you know, protesters, some of the more intense scenes over there. I mean, Iran's a big place. I don't know exactly where. Tehran. They say northern Iran. They'll say some video somewhere else. They'll say hundreds. They'll say thousands. It looks pretty violent. I'll say that. There's fire. Okay, even though for example, there was a lot more fire with the Floyd 2020 riots. Like, I'm not saying I don't want strong action. With the way some of these governors, DAs, and stuff are talking, yeah, Trump, bring the National Guard in, support ICE, arrest these people. Do what you got to do. And I think he'll do what he has to do. He's that kind of guy, right? He takes this kind of time. Escalates, but escalates as you've seen. He's got it in him. So, Iran, right? There's no real fire. I haven't really seen fire with this ICE stuff. Okay, I'm not calling for it or anything. Geez. But bellwethers, so to speak. A lot of orange clips, you know, coming out of Iran. Smoke, fire. It's a little bit of what's going on. But why, right? They're out there. Apologies here. Trying to pull up something. Pull up. So there's a bunch of riots, right? And they say, so you read about it, and there's like, it's they'll say economic woes, okay? It's a number of a myriad of reasons, but that there's a lot of pointing towards the spark, which is this devaluing of the currency. Is it real? the Iranian rial, rial, right? Their currency, okay, like their dollar. There's been a sudden plunge, but it's really been going on for like a decade. Been like a lot of economic pressure on Iran. More on that in a moment, but they say just at the end of December, it just took a free fall. This their currency, and this is like what sparked demonstrations. Okay, it's like spreading, and they're filming it, going around everywhere. And they say it's like a bit. They say it's quite a bit. I mean, just over. The free fall is like, they say it's like 45% of its value. Okay, it started off 2025 at 117,000 rial per US dollar, and ended the year at about 1.4 million. So you need a lot more Iranian rials to make a US dollar, devaluing it, right? And so that's like the sudden plunge. But over the 10-year period since 2015, it went from 32,000, quite a bit, 32,000 rial, to the number I was telling you right to the beginning of 2025, 800,000. 30,000 of these make $1 US to 800,000, right? So big changes, but why the heck would that even matter? Why does that even matter, Nick? It's just $1. I've actually seen that. Protesters around here, and they'll be like, why does the currency matter? It's just a number made up. It's just a made up number. And I mean, maybe kind of, but you're going to feel it when that made up number changes, okay? Because that made up number is how we trade in the world, okay? It's a big global economy. And not everybody makes everything, because we're all like holding hands, sort of. And so, you just import stuff. Medicine, important things that your people need, okay? Pretty much every country does that. And you start closing up some of those avenues. You start messing up the money. You're going to have a hard time buying those things, okay? And now you got inflation. Now you got expensive stuff. Okay, sound familiar? So that's why it matters, okay? And it matters to the Iranians, okay? Okay, so that's currency for you, okay? And so that's one thing, right? Now, the other thing about this is the international, like, geopolitical thing at play. Now, We've had a little bit of time since October for many of us who are just like ignorant anchor babies, okay? For many of us, we've had like some, what's the word? 101s, crash courses on the situation. Okay, so it comes down, and so there's another side to this, right, about the like geopolitics. We're talking about stuff that goes back to Obama. We're talking. You've heard of this Iran nuclear deal. You're familiar with some of these things. You're like, oh yeah, I heard about that. All of you are like, Nick, we know all of this. But some of you are like, oh yeah, I heard about the Iran nuclear deal and all that. I mean, it goes back to all that. Obama made some deal with them, and there were criticisms, big criticisms. I mean, we could just go to Trump. That's the guy who basically ended it, right? They call it the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal. That's 2015, right? Trump comes in 2018. He's like, yeah, it's not a good deal. And you got to remember, what's the point of this deal, right? Because here's one of the interests that America cares about with Iran. Nuclear proliferation, they call it. Okay, you can't everybody can't have nukes. It's just, we can't let more people get it. It's just enough people have it, okay? The ones who have it, it's like, what are we going to say? Hey, you can't have them. They got nukes. And so it becomes a thing where it's like, for the upper echelon people, whatever, overseeing the world. How about we don't let everybody get toys? And I'm with that. That makes a lot of sense to me. That's my interest too. America's interests and my interests align there. The criticisms were that deal really didn't stop that core principle, which is Iran's nuclearization. And so the criticisms of Trump are, this is just like bad deal making. If you didn't have a better deal to bring in place, then you're like pushing the Iranians away. This is just like, then of course they're going to nuclearize. But this is where I leave and I don't know, and I'm just kind of presenting some stuff to you, where it's like, well, is it that they were really going to nuclearize or not? If it is so that the deal as it was, the JCPOA and all that did not stop what it was meant to do, then who cares about all the other stuff? Trump had the stuff to say how it is. We can't have it around acting like this. And so in comes these sanctions. In comes this different approach to Iran. 2018, right? Trump. They start hitting them with these sanctions. They export oil, right? So like they make money with the oil. They could bring in their medicine. They could bring in all the other stuff that people need. You start messing with that industry. You start sanctioning their oil. Hey, U.S. allies, etc. You can't buy that oil. We're gonna be mad. You start It starts being a problem, and I don't think it's a secret. You can pretty much point it back. It seems like that pressure has largely worked, right? And this is where kind of like some of my I don't knows come in. Like, it seems like we do have a vested interest in a non-nuclearized Iran. It seems like, and all that, right? Do we? And then the other side of this, right? Then the final side of this is what happens next. It's the same with Venezuela and a number of things that are going on right now. What happens next? And I personally, I like this I don't know, because there's a lot of people with thoughts, right? Like, well, if there's protests in Iran and this has been pushed by these sanctions, and this is really on a big, long game and campaign of U.S. and U.S. allies dealing with regimes they don't like and enacting regime change, etc. Forcing actors in the state, in the international stage, to bend to your will, right? Hey, JCPOA, nuclear deal, you're not going to work with us. We're going to stop you. And it becomes a matter of what happens next. So that's the other side to that too. Well, is it going to be a long, expensive game, or will it be handled right? And that's where it's like nobody knows. Oh, it's already, this is war with Iran. Nothing's happened. Trump's always been a bit of a wild card. You never really can pin it down. So I'm excited to see what he does with all of this, what he has inherited, so to speak, the world situation at large. Okay. So anyways, here's another thing to it. Kind of it's still related, but that's kind of like the sides of what's going on with Iran, right? The domestic protests, but the international stage there. But check it out. This very same international stage, this international community, we've spoken about it before, and it has a ideological bent to it. You just got to kind of open your eyes and see. And it's no, how do I put this? It's no, what's the word? It really isn't a coincidence or something like that a lot of the imagery, especially coming out of the West, supporting the Iranian protests, it has this like feminist bend to it, okay? You hear the ladies, hear the smoking ladies. Freedom, we're smokers now. Yes, you can't stop us. We're taking off the hijab. Look at my hair. And I'm going to smoke you freaking Islamist. That's the Ayatollah, okay? That's the Iranian. That's a picture of the Iranian supreme leader. That's a woman, a liberated woman, okay, with no hijab, lighting her cigarette. I think this may have happened, in fact. This may be like a drawing of like a scene that was pictured that went viral as like a, wow, this is like us. This is like, yeah, here it is, in fact. Or this might be a bunch of women, maybe, it might be like a viral, like a trend, like let's all do it, or they're all enacting like one person that did it. But here they are. We're free now. It reminds me of this one like meme. It's like a woman saying, "Oh yeah, remembering how I have free will," and it's just her destroying everything. It's her just like ruining ordered perfect things like a loaf of bread, just ripping into it, a burrito, just eating on the side of it. You know, you're supposed to eat it a certain way. Just destroy with your so-called free will, ladies. J.K. Rowling, if you claim to support human rights, yet can't bring yourself to show solidarity with those fighting for their liberty in Iran, you've revealed yourself. You don't give a dang about people being oppressed and brutalized so long as it's being done by the enemies of your enemies. So J.K. Rowling, right? Is she did she call herself that? A TERF? Is it TERF? Trans, whatever. But a feminist, right? So J.K. Rowling, kind of a known feminist. It's funny. I don't know who this guy is. Haviv Rettig Gur. Is that like Swedish? Is that Swedish? Oh no, maybe that's Israeli. It says Israel, Middle East politics. You know what? I just don't know. That looks like a sort of Swedish name, but I really don't know what I'm talking about. And maybe this guy's just a Middle East analyst. You know, he's retweeting it. He's like, amen. And everyone can finally see it. Why am I getting a woman said it so I can support it vibes? Yes. Am I judging Haviv? Hur säger man beta male? På svenska. They call it this feminist thing, and it's like, if you don't see it's women fighting, here's a couple more. If you can't see, if you can't support, or if you can't see that this is like so awesome because like women are creating, like we are witnessing one of the biggest feminist revolutions of history. And for some reason, Western feminists are completely silent. Like all of this has been, all of these posts, they are attempting to dunk on Western feminists. Like, you know, you guys claim you love women, which is fine, whatever. It's an okay jab, I guess. Right? Stick it to those Western feminists. How about you be a better feminist? But, you know, that's is not my kind of commentary. Hey, Western feminists, how about you be a better feminist? No, the whole thing is a lie. This is so phony. Who's throwing those? They're like, this revolution is women. They're not. The women, the men are throwing those. I'm not supporting it. I don't know this way or that way. I'm not taking a side. But when you see those violent protests, revolutionary protests, it's the men. Yeah, I'm just saying. It's just a fact. They're the other ones throwing the stuff, fighting the cops, dying. And the dads are out there. I don't know. I've just been watching a bunch of footage. The dad, my son. I'm not taking a side there. I'm just saying. The reason is Dinesh D'Souza, I guess, responding to the Western feminist silence. The reason is they need radical Muslims, including the regime of the mullahs in Iran, to help them destroy Christianity and Western civilization. There's a better jab there, Dinesh. Huh? I mean, they are like against it. But I mean, what? I mean, the people out there protesting are like, I'm not there, but you can make a couple parallels here. Number one, in that they're like people, right? So people. Some of you are like, they're not people. They're people. Calm down. Don't dehumanize. They're so they. What I'm saying there is that just like here, how do these things start? How do these things get sparked and all that? You have a collection of grievances, etc., and you have basically a tense setting, okay? And once you have enough of the fumes gather, then you need a spark to set it off, a moment to catalyze it all, okay? A black man being with a white cop on him, and then he dies. And then the fumes that they were gathering for years, black racism, etc. Iran, economic woes. Mesa Amini, right? That was 2022 or 23. Now, there is like a feminist thing there. But even that was men protesting and all that. But I'm referring to this younger lady who allegedly killed in like some sort of law enforcement custody for violating a hijab law. So that was a huge protest. But what I'm getting at is that just like here, you really just have like a loose collection of things, a bunch of tension, and then like a spark, right? This drop in currency. I wonder, I'm not really familiar with like sides over there in Iran. Like, is there like a side over there who is like really disgusted by those protests? Like, where's the order? We support the Islamic regime. I mean, I bet you there was. I bet you that's kind of safe to assume. Those that like support it or against it. But this is like happening because this like economic stuff. There's been geopolitical moves here. Oh, well, we already finished with all that. And I'll get back to calls. I see all of you, 888-775-3773. I'm bringing up the feminism, too, because it speaks to a little bit like this international community. You understand? How do you sanitize U.S. imperialism? Which, I don't know, is that like a nasty word? I like what Trump's doing, domestically, internationally. But how do you like sanitize such a thing to the world, to the UN, to the international community? You have to say it's women doing it. It's like that's how you can like do what you want. Just get women into it, That's how you can manipulate stuff, right, and do things. Which sometimes, hey, maybe you manipulate. As some might put it, you're manipulating for Christ, right? You're manipulating public opinion for international action for Christ. Sometimes depends on the administration, right? Trump. But that's how you do it, right? The international community, they love this mess. Oh, it's like a feminist thing. The women are just finally standing up. Like that's like so phony. That's such a lie. But what else about this? Because, man, the feminism thing. I want to tell you about that in a moment. I want to tell you about it. In a second here, but we got some calls, 888-775-3773. I see you calls coming in. We'll get to all of you. Amazing. Let's see here. Let me see. Let me make sure we did everything here. Trump. What else is there to say? I mean, come on, let's just keep moving. I got Robert out of Kansas here who has a comment about Iran. Sir, appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, Nick. Hope you're well, sir.
All is well, Robert. Thank
Good. Good to hear from you. So, Iran's just trying to hold on to that order of God is all they're trying to do.
What makes you say that?
Well, God, and in this case, it would be God, Muhammad, man, woman, children. And, the only thing wrong with Iran is the Islam. That's really the only thing wrong with them. And,
right.
They're
like is this Islamic regime type thing?
Well, yeah, the only thing, they're just trying to keep it where, their women don't kill their babies and they don't let perverts get married. And that's just what they're trying to hold on to. And we seem hell-bent on bringing them over to the order of Satan. So it's what it is.
This. You're saying we want to you're saying U.S.'s kind of actions, their kind of desire is to stop them from doing what you're saying, which is just to hold on to their way of life and order?
Yeah, to keep everything in a godly order, and they refuse to do it. They won't let gay marriage, for example, or abortion be legal in their country, and we want to make it legal there.
And I've heard something like that for someone ignorant. How does that happen? How do we go to a country and say, hey, you gotta make gay marriage legal? I have some creativity. I mean, imposing your own leadership is probably one way.
Well, what you do is you economically blockade them, which destroys their currency, as you were just talking about, just like we did with Venezuela. It's a way of bringing about the order of Satan.
Now, is it all that, or is it more like a couple of pretty important, maybe like a main underlying, like maybe one or two important points, and then like some competing adjacent stuff that tries to kind of like glob itself onto it? Like, for example, the nuclearization of Iran. Like, would you say that it's not all just like let's impose a satanic order and export gay marriage, but it's like, we do have an interest in not letting Iran have nukes. You think it's like a multiple things?
No, nukes aren't even real. That's why no one ever uses them. No, they're not real, man. It's a fabrication.
This conversation took a total turn.
Well, yeah, that's why no one uses nukes, is because they're not real. And if you think about like Pakistan and India, if nukes are real, they would have used them already.
That's like the best. That's the best argument on that I've heard, and I'm quite skeptical. I'm by quite skeptical. I mean, I don't believe it at all that nukes are not real. I'm not convinced, but that's maybe the best argument. If they were real, these Pakistanis and Indians would have used it a long time ago. You know how much they hate each other?
Yeah, they're not real, man. They had everybody hiding under their desk and pretending like they were real for so many decades. I understand the conditioning that people are under. They believe their government, they believe authority, but yeah, they're not even real, man. So this whole red herring about we're going to stop him from getting nukes, the governments of the world know they're not real. So it's that's why Iran is doing what they're doing. They're just trying to hold on to their society and not let women, like everything Bond preaches about. They're trying to keep women underneath men where they belong, and the world powers, the love of money, the great deceiver wants to bring every country out of order, and they've done it to us, and they've done it to all the other nations except for a few of them, right? Like Iran, North Korea, these other few countries that haven't yet succumb to the great deceiver. They're trying to, bring them out of that and bring them into the God of this world and his order, and, you know, allow their women to smoke or whatever, right? Where, you know, if you love women, if you truly love, you wouldn't let women smoke, you wouldn't let them divorce and kill their children, and you would see marriage as a sacred thing that's only between a man and a woman. But if you want to, you know, get Satan involved, you're going to try and force them into a different type of order.
If the only thing that's wrong with the Iran is the Islam, then isn't everything about them wrong? Like they have the wrong order?
You know, Islam has taken over there.
To you.
Yeah, well, there is a God. There definitely is a God, and then we reach that point in certain different avenues of religion, whether, you know, Christianity or Islam or Judaism or whatever. But there certainly is a God. Now, how you get there, those things, in my opinion, have been corrupted. But yes, there is a natural order to life. Jesse preaches about it all the time. And that's what they're really at war with, is that natural order that would have a functioning society where, you know, a woman doesn't have the power to divorce their husband, destroy the family.
But it's hard to really respond, Robert, to be honest with you. Because it's like we just have like a different worldview here where, you know, there's no nukes in your world. So the only thing that the U.S. government could be doing is just like imposing a satanic order. For what purpose? It's just like merely to, I mean, there's no material actions in your world, right? It's all just like false psyops for this like deep satanic reason that we can't even know. In your world, people aren't just like trying to get resources and kind of mad at each other and are tribal. So it's really hard to make sense of it, you know? And I'm not saying the devil doesn't exist or anything like that. I'm just saying that, you know, I think that there are like reasons to be doing some of these things. Like, for example, there are nukes and we don't want that. That's not part of it. But also, and then the second thing, then I'll leave you on this maybe to smoke on, because I think you're just giving them too much credit in your worldview too. That's like Iran is like, they're like Iran and really anything kind of like anti-Western is like, they're like saints or something. They're just like, we're just like pretty simple people who just want to like live a biblical life. They're not like backwards places all over the world. They're not like the human suffering and like all that in these places too. Like, you know, it's you know, it's a far more gray area, man. Like in that, you know, there's people trying to be Christian over here and probably trying to be decent people over there, etc. You know, like it's. I think you start getting far too into like this, like, I want to say anti-Western kind of thinking, like almost Islamic. Like you've been maybe like charmed by the anti-imperialist voices, like, you know, these people are just exporting gay marriage. It's not all that, man. But sir, a few things to smoke on. Robert, can you call me again?
Yeah, well, what's anti-Western is the government we have now. They obviously, if you can look around, you can see how anti-Western they are. And it is to empower the woman, to give perverts the right to marriage, things like that. That's what's really anti-Western, that destroys our children, destroys our society, is what we already are captured by. And we had our own war, the Civil War. That's what brought in these people who can tax your paycheck. Right, that's what it is. It's that we had our own war trying to fight this evil. We lost. We lost to the fallen angels, because yes, there are fallen angels. It is material in the way it is, Nick, but there's also a spiritual aspect, that these things that control us are spiritual. They are we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It is exactly what it does say in the Bible, or it does say in the Quran, or, those people there in Iran. If you think about it, Nick, it is just another war on a white country. Iran is a white nation that has not yet succumbed to satanic order, and we are going to go to war with them because of it.
Smoking on it, Robert, man. I appreciate your call. Call me again.
All right, bye, Nick.
888-775-3773. Yep. Spiritual aspect. But like everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? Don't the Bible say even demons know that? It's like me saying we breathe air. It's a spiritual aspect to things. But if you describe it if you're confused by it and forever lost in what you think is going on in the spiritual aspect, what's that mean? What's that matter? And you can't make sense of the world? I think some of you guys like just call it it's a pejorative maybe, but it's just a way to summarize some of this conspiracy side of things. It's like taking it too far with authority lies, so I'm just gonna doubt all that. You know what, the government, they hate white people and they lied about history. And you know what else the government says? That the air is oxygen, the earth is round, light, we see through light. All that's false too. I'm being a little extra, but you get it. That's not rational. William, number 7, California. How you doing on the air?
Good morning, Nick. Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was looking at that the video part of you showing like a woman, modern day woman, lighting her cigarette with I guess used to be the Ayatollah Khomeini.
Yes.
Yeah, is that correct? Well, I think that's interesting, and I'm just looking at it from this angle. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. It's just what came to mind. But I think it's funny that she's lighting her cigarette that we all know is bad for us. It's not good for us. It's death. It's degrading of the human temple of our body. So she's being deceived by the image of a man, which we may or may not know the truth behind of who this guy really was here in America. But I just think it's fascinating that this poster is of a woman lighting a cigarette of an image of the leader of her country because she either agrees or disagrees. And I just think that's maybe tantamount or similar to what the original sin was when Eve was deceived and ate of the tree of good and evil. And because we don't know where Adam was, I mean, there's speculation. There's the Book of Enoch. We argue about should we read it or all that. So that being said, I just think it's interesting. And then they're back in the headlines. I don't know what
that is interesting. You said that in a better way than I was earlier. It's kind of that's essentially why I thought it was interesting. And if anything,
really?
More of an indictment on the West because it's them who was really hyped up about this. They're calling it a feminist revolution.
Yeah, which it might be what brings the end because remember in the Book of Revelation, the woman is what rides the beast.
Interesting, man. Yeah, because I didn't.
Yeah,
that's not even a support or a disavowal of the Iranian regime. But yeah, that the woman, that the West is like, well, what's the face of chaos and revolution? Which revolution? I guess some people it's like it's only good, but it has another side to it. It's chaos. It's darkness, right? And out of it, maybe good supposedly is supposed to come. But the West sees the woman as the harbinger of such right chaos and unraveling of what was. That's who they see. The West sees the woman. That's the face of it.
Right, and I know in the Bible, God's used some prophetesses. I mean, you have Rahab. She was a harlot. She believed God and followed him. You have the great-grandmother of Jesus, Ruth. You have Esther. women have stepped up when men have been betas, but that's just me thinking that when the Spirit of God moves them, and they do, they move into action and are present, like Jesse says. They just move in the present and are still, because remember, she asked everybody Esther at least, to pray and fast for 3 days, and it was clear, and she found favor in the sight of the king, because he had to hold the scepter at her. Otherwise, if he didn't accept her barging in, because the king was the ruler back then, and if he did not hold that scepter, she could be killed, but she wasn't. She found favor. Kind of like Noah found favor, and Moses found favor, and, Abraham, those people.
I see. Interesting, man. William, do you know much about Iran? You said what?
So that's funny. My first roommate in the military came from Iran.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, we were best friends. He spoke Farsi and everything, and I keep in contact with him to this day.
Do you know if would Iran just if they were not economically sanctioned, would they be chill? Or have they always been
I don't know. I'm not over there.
Or do they not do they not play nice?
They don't play nice, because I know I have a pastor at the church that I still go to, and he's one of the pastors there, and he came from Iran too, and he said they left that country. He was 8 years old, and him and his little brother were walking down the street, and next thing he knows, his 5-year-old brother was all bloody, and he got shot in the head and didn't realize it, and he died in his arms, and then they wound up coming to America because it got so crazy. So that is my friend, and his name is Ali, but I won't dox his last name.
Right.
But
don't do that.
Study.
You said what?
It was just a story. He got our attention on why his family came to America.
Right. Okay.
It was some program. It was some program that allowed him and his mom and the children to come to America back in the 70s or 80s.
All righty. Well, interesting, sir. William, can you call me again? Anything else you want to speak on here?
Not really. I mean, I like to have a wait-and-see attitude as well. Half the time what we imagine is not even close to being true. So I'd rather just wait and see.
It's with everything, right? But yeah, with Iran and all that?
About Iran, so it's back in the headlines again, huh? I don't watch the news a lot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, keep it.
But I listen to you guys, so...
Same. I mean, that's what I'm doing, because, they'll say, well, is this a run-up to war with Iran? And it's I don't know. I personally... No such thing has happened, and you got to be in the now. You're welcome. You're allowed to think about it, but look, so I'm a wait and see on that. There's no reason it has to be a war. It could be like Venezuela, in and out, etc. I'm waiting. There's a number of things I just have, and I don't know on Well,
I do know
had it in my mind a moment ago, but I forgot. It was a good one. You were saying?
Since 2012, the Christian community who has people in Iran and Israel, I'm sorry, I meant to say Israel, that they've been claiming since 2012 and before that Iran is on the verge of having nukes, and so we must do this and that. And I don't know if that's called saber rattling, when you say, hey, they're about ready to... And yet, when we went in that one war, and then we looked and couldn't find any. Remember, we couldn't find the nukes, and so I think it was Bush's administration said, "Well, that was our intel."
That's one of those I don't know. It's is it that are they do they not play nice and they really secretly always trying to build a nuke, and it's just all in bad faith, or is it that no? They really wouldn't try it if the U.S. wouldn't get so close to them. With sanctions and when regime change, they say the critics say that nuclear arms in this age is simply a way to protect yourself from U.S. regime change. So which one is it, right? For me, it's is it that should we go to? Is it that a war with Iran really will be economically disastrous or not. Like all those things, I really don't know. I'll just be honest.
No, I'd say that's fair, and I know for a fact I'm not anti-American, but I'm pretty sure the media and the news outlets are owned by corporations and special interests, and it's whatever they say gets dictated. Just that'll benefit America or maybe the powers that be, and we, the little people down here, usually wind up fighting over stupid stuff. The small differences between Americans and, Democrats and Republicans. I think it's kind of sad, actually, but they have a split on many fronts: black and whites, gays and lesbians, cops and thugs. Democrats, Republicans, men, women, you name it, we're split.
Fair enough, sir.
The city person, the country folk.
That's true.
But hey, what can you do but just wait and see and do what's right?
That's right for yourself. Well, right on, man.
All right, man. Well, hopefully one day I'll make the trek down there to visit y'all.
Mecca. Come to Mecca. Wait, no, that's just,
no,
that's
don't
Muslim.
say that. Do I have to?
Wait,
do I
that's
have
Muslim.
to walk around your guys' bond in a clockwise motion? And do you guys? Do you guys have a rock in your thing there?
yeah. This is This is an American Mecca for people. But wait, that's Muslim.
You supply the prayer rug, all right?
All right, sir. Call me again.
Peace out.
888-775-3773. I trust Trump on the international stage, but again, I just don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know certain things. Will Iran? Is Iran just support? Just like, hey, leave me alone. Hey, you're making me build these nukes, man. Stay back. Or is it like they don't play nice? They got Hamas and the terrorism. It's like as much as you hate as much as you want to, maybe even have fair criticisms or something of Jews, Israel, they're on the money and our allies and such a thing. Like it sounds like it's very, very possible. I trust Trump. What else about that? Blah blah blah. We've been talking about this kind of a bit. How about we keep going here? Because we got callers and all that. I want to kind of switch it up a bit. Let me move. I want to get back to my callers here, but let me do this kind of next segment here to kind of keep it moving here, kind of have like a little bit of progress, a little bit of movement to the topics. There's a relation here, right? We're talking about feminism, Iran, a number of things. And I was thinking about the feminism at home here in America. Look, there's been a bunch of talk lately about the white liberal female, especially with this ICE shooting thing, right? They're like, look at how the white liberal female is. We got a white liberal female epidemic. It's just this like white liberal female thing. And I was looking at this video. You know what? Can I even show this? This is how like vulgar these feminists are. It's this short woman. Let me describe it, right? The camera's like on the floor. So she's got her phone on the floor and she's like standing over it. And she's like doing this play fighting thing where she's like punching at the camera, like flying in from the edge and like attacking the viewer essentially, or just this camera view. I'm not even playing because she's wearing such skimpy clothes, and the position she's standing over the camera, it's just so obvious that she's like showing off the bits. She's showing off the sisters, it's just skimpy. She's the way she's over it. And why am I bringing this one up? She's got this short hair in it, very, very short hair, colored. And you look at that and you're like, there you go. Liberalism at it again. Liberalism at it again. Just rotting the brains of these fine women. And it's just, that's not the liberalism. That's not liberalism. That is feminism, but what feminism truly is, because that's not even that accurate. Because what do you mean by feminism? It's like at its core, the hatred of the natural order of the world, of man over woman, right? Man over woman, woman over children. Her hair is short, not because in that video, I'm not even showing it to you, her hair is short and she's showing off her bits and trying to manipulate men and all that, not because of liberalism and feminism. Not liberalism, it's because it's like deep, it's like spiritual. It's like Eve. It's like I have decided to just let go and go all in on hating, okay? Hating men, hating the order of things, okay? She, in this video, the reason why these liberal women do the short-haired thing, especially if they're like physically attractive women. Now, there's a bunch of, they're just ugly. They just want to be ugly inside and out. But the ones that are like cute, they're like, they got a really cute face. Maybe even like, their body's fine. They'll go crazy with the makeup, shave off eyebrows, go nuts with the hair. In an almost like, I want to say satanic, but I don't know. In an almost like ritual of, let me use my feminine body to manipulate men, but look at, I'm almost playing a trick on them. Look at how gross can I make myself and still manipulate men? How off-putting can I push it, and cut off the long hair that is the woman, right? Isn't that in the Bible? The hair is the beauty of the woman, her long hair. How do I push that as far as I can and turn reality on its head? Okay. It's not liberalism. Okay. Let me see what else on this. And then we'll get back to calls, 888-775-3773. It seems like Hollywood, Netflix, it seems like, I don't even know what this is, but I almost bet you maybe someone in the chat's like, oh yeah, I'm watching that show. It's great. That series, whatever. I literally don't know what this is. But this is like on fire on the internet right now, right? And she's like, some woman is playing some character and she's talking to a bunch of other women. And she's like, you know what? These feminists actually, you know what, ladies? These feminists suck. Right, ladies? We're the real feminists. It's time to wake up. Women's liberation was not supposed to be about hating mothers. Okay, we love mothers. And it's just like, I'm not even going to play this. Maybe it's copyright. And she's got all this like energy. She's like, and the women start saying, yeah, we love being mothers, actually. Stop hating moms and stuff. But the whole thing in it is cloaked women's liberation. In the whole scene, it's just her saying how women should be liberated. They should be separate. They should be their own. That was a good thing for the homes to change. That was actually a good thing. It's just that we've gone too far. No. No. The liberation, the civil rights, all that was the beginnings, or a more explosive beginning of the undoing of a few of the things that we have here in that you can either follow or not. You don't have to, but for a good life, an ordered good life. So yeah, it's like there really are feminists still everywhere. They could be like, "'Cause I'm a conservative. I love Trump," but there is a law to this. Okay, much like Robert Conquest's law that I've told you about of politics, all conservative institutions eventually become led by their enemies, right? Some smart guy back in the day, right? A Brit, George Roberts Conquest. Okay, he's like, it's basically a law. Call it a law, basically. But all right-wing institutions eventually become like led by a cadre of its enemies, and they become left-wing. Also, Ware's law. There are two elements of Ware's law. An evangelical man will only speak out on a controversial cultural issue if he can do so by citing a woman who already has. The woman's got to lead the way. That's law one. Law two, every conservative woman in a public platform is on a trajectory towards liberalism. This is painfully true. Call it all women in a public setting, conservative women
this identity politics. So, like in Colorado, the biggest issue among Republican voters is immigration. You know how many illegal immigrants we have here? Like fucking 12.
Oh, Ashley. Language. Every conservative woman with a public platform is on a trajectory towards liberalism. Know this. Is this true? There's a bunch of like noise about this lady here, which I gotta say we have spoken about her. Call me a fool. Call me a simp. Okay. She got me talking about her. But I've talked about her before because it came up with Elon, remember? I mean, hey, look, Elon's going around. He's going around doing his thing, okay? I need to type something. Hold on. Elon's going around, okay? Maybe is spreading? What do they say? Oats? Is that dirty? It's just oatmeal. Look, he's got many baby mamas, and I don't know. Maybe he's kind of like, hey, when a techie guy, maybe nerd, and I say that with love. Maybe I'm a nerd. When a nerd thinks about population decline, they think about sex. Yeah, it depends on who you ask, right? It's like, hey, you tell someone about population decline, the birth rates are low. You ask maybe like, I don't know. I'm sure you can ask like a pastor, an engineer, blah, blah, blah. You ask a tech bro nerd, they think sex, baby. We need to have sex. Sorry, okay. Sorry, Elon. But he's out there. He's made some babies. He made one with this woman here. And, things apparently didn't go too well. Look, it became a bit of a public thing. She came out in like Valentine's Day talking about, hey, I made a baby with Elon. And by the way, he's not giving me money. He's got his own claims. I've given her millions of dollars, he says. She also has like money. I don't know. I hear she's okay in money, but whatever. She's like a feminist now. Maybe always was. She was in obscurity for a bit, I think. I didn't hear much about her. I think it was better that way, Ashley, just for your kids and for your, working on yourself. You've previously engaged in blatant transphobia. How do you feel about trans people in the wake of noticing how the far right truly is? I feel immense guilt for my role. And even more, she wrote a kid's book on this. Ashley St. Clair, now I'm remembering. She literally has a kid's book. It was called something like elephants are not birds. It's like this. It's like a kid's book. It's like what's the word? Illustrated children's book with heavy tones on like not being transgender. Like elephants are elephants, not birds. Like duh, right? Like you can't be a bird if you're an elephant. You can't be transgender. My role, I have said in the past, may have caused my son's sister more pain. So I mean, she went from I'm a conservative firebrand. We need to stop the grooming of our children to actually, that kid Elon had with that other woman, and then that woman hated him, and because she hated him, she transed his kid, and now his kid is like the he went to become a she, and Elon is like, yeah, my son died, metaphorically speaking, he's dead to me. This is like a different person. That's what he said. He said that. Hey. And she said, and Ashley here, maybe similarly scorned. Look, this is revenge, folks. I'll just say that out loud. You think she's I'm learning different things, and upon learning different information, I'm making a reasonable decision here, and realizing the right has gone too far. This is scorn. This is like revenge. Is this woman gonna trans Elon's son? She's liable to do it. That's what an angry person is liable to do. Anybody, right? I've said in the past, he's calling my son's sister. Who's that sister that she may have caused pain due to anti-trans commentary? Yeah, Vivian or whatever, the one that's I'm talking about. Anyways, I need to advocate for the trans community. I also haven't said much on this because I've gone back and forth whether my voice would be helpful or I'll just be scorned. Even this reply will become right-wing hysteria. Okay, she got me. Okay, you got me. I'm an idiot, but there you go. That's the segment for you. Okay, you liked it too. Shut up. Let's get back to some calls. Feminism, man. It's the woman. It's a woman spiritual Adam and Eve thing. Like they're just liberals. Not quite. Okay, we're gonna get to some more things here. I appreciate your calls. 888-775-3773. We got Art out of Ohio. How you doing, sir? On the air.
Hey, Nick. You know the rules is big. Art and his mother lover. Don't look at me crazy because I ain't with them other suckers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm nodding my head in agreement. There's nothing. There's nothing to say to that. That's just true.
You don't even know who that is, man.
I have no clue. I'm just hyping. I'm just hyping.
That's Tupac, man. Rest in peace to my main man, Tupac.
I'm familiar in the ways.
Got you.
Sadly.
You notice what I realized with everything that's going on in with the politics ever since 2016. Really all Trump was the feminist Uno reverse card.
I'm following. You saying Trump was?
Said, yeah, that's all he was. That's all he was basically since the 60s, 70s. Just like I was listening to one show where they were saying that most of these educational and a lot of these like systems and stuff like in government they are at like a 54% rate where it's nothing but females or whatnot, where they've been taken over or whatnot.
Yeah.
Which in turn, what it's done to the black community is depending on the government, the dollar doesn't stay in the community, and the young boys and the young girls is out there twerking, for change on the dollar. You see what I'm saying? And the house is all broken up or whatnot. So when I say that about this Trump, the reverse Uno card is back. What was that 3-4 years ago when they reversed the Roe versus Wade?
You know what? I forget when that was, but yeah, that was.
It was somewhere around
recently.
Yeah, and we said it then. I said it for sure then. I said everything that they've been doing, they won't take. The liberals won't take they win and run their butt up the hill and kick rocks and celebrate at the top of the hill like, man, we got us a win. No, they will stay down there in the pits and keep trying to fight with us and keep trying to push these agendas on us to where finally after a while we like, hold up, man. You know what? Forget your liberal rights, and basically we just been putting up with you just because we feel bad for the trophy. We feel bad because y'all trophy kids. Y'all soft. But we can't do that no more. You see what I'm saying? Because y'all working with the terrorists.
Yeah.
All the feminist agendas look like to me is where we at right now is that the Native American white female and black female want to be loaner chicks to the whole world. They want us to loan them out to the rest of the world and basically slut them out. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And it's to the male detriment. It's to the Native American male detriment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. For
but
sure.
And that's why everywhere you turn, they all mad. That's when I see all them people in Minnesota protesting. The first thing I think is just like you heard in the news when Elon and Doge was exposing the fraud, everybody, no, he can't do that. He's going to get all our information. He's not a U.S. citizen. He's not supposed to be in the White House. Well, all in turn, when you sit back and you look at it, the reason why they sitting there complaining because they know that they had their hand in the cookie jar. You see what I'm saying? So when I see all them protesters in Minnesota, I'm like, y'all must got y'all hand in the cookie jar.
All
you
those
see
people.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
I feel like those are just like idiots, just like useful idiots. And you know, what's all this talk about being paid too? But please go ahead.
Well, I mean, they are paid. They are paid idiots, but they taxpayers paid idiots.
I personally don't know either way, but yeah, there's some interesting stuff on that. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, all the fraud that's been going around or whatnot I wouldn't doubt if that money ain't somehow going back right to them. I mean, you know, yeah. So now all this in my generation is my generation, Hake's generation, and even Jesse's generation. But Jesse's one out of a few because he's been trying to reverse the Uno card back and put it back in the alpha male's ballpark. But really, our generation is really pushing over it. And basically, my mom's generation and them, they messed it up. Basically, they making it to where this generation of females is with 20s and 25. They gonna be out here struggling, and it's gonna be real hard for them to find a relationship to get into because they all been propagandized.
That's true, man. With strange standards and strange thinkings about the whole thing.
Yeah, and then I'm at work and stuff talking to this one chick or whatnot, and this goes to all females or whatnot. They y'all got to know when to turn off the news and stop taking in and trying to fix and help everybody. That female mindset to where we want to help everybody and you feel bad for everybody. That goes for everybody, all females in the whole world. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got it, especially when you got the news and a lot of these people that are intentionally propagandizing and using y'all to stress y'all out and to get y'all to fight for the devil. Y'all need to start cutting these TVs off and go watch some how to make a sandwich shows, maybe knitting, how to knit a quilt or some quilt in. Maybe go out.
That'd be far more useful.
Yeah, go out. Useful. Go outside and put some gloves on because we know y'all scared of touching dirt. And, go out there and plant some flowers or dig up some, quit always sitting around watching negative. That's how you get negative spirits in you. They don't know how to cut the BS off and switch gears. You know what I mean? And they get wrapped up into it to where the devil gets into them and it radicalizes them.
Yeah, what gets me is just the phoniness of it. It's one thing that's like, well, I care about a good thing. Like, it's some sort of brownie point. It's some sort of, at least partly in the direction of being a good moral person or something. But if you could just see that on his face, it's actually phony. All this wanting to help people is never actually you actually being a truly good person. It's selfish usually, and misguided. If you want people to be better, it's like here's how I did it, and here's how you could do it.
Yeah.
Let me give you stuff, etc. You get it.
This is how I did. This is how you basically a blueprint. Yeah. And going back on to what you said, you 100% that it's fake love and they being fake. And I'm surprised that the left and their foreign so-called friends that they let come into America ain't turned on them because it's easy as day that they don't like y'all. They let y'all come over and they acting like they care about y'all, but they really don't like y'all. And factually, how Art knows that is because it doesn't take a genius to know. Well, only thing you got to do is look at where they doing all the protesting at and be like, hey, well, we going to go ahead and send ICE there because y'all sitting there telling on yourself. Yeah. I was just telling a lady earlier back when I used to be in the streets or whatnot, what I look like arguing with the police on the side of the road when I got over $1,000 worth of trees in the car. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. $2,000 worth of trees in the car, $5,000 and a whole bunch of money in my pocket. What do I look like sitting there arguing with the cops over a $70, $80, $100, $200 traffic ticket? Basically putting the target on my back to where the cops be like, ain't that the drug dealer or whatnot?
Honestly, they should leave you alone. It's just trees. Yeah. I never knew that was illegal.
But basically, I'm not going to draw no unwanted attention to myself.
Right. No, so I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all they. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they acting like they care, but they really self-snitching and telling everybody where we need to send ICE at. Literally, when they sitting there doing all, the only thing you got to do is watch these news clips where you hearing the liberals complain about and like, oh, we don't want ICE. Well, y'all don't want ICE there. That's where we got to send them to. There's a reason why you don't want them there. So I mean, they ain't doing nothing.
The response.
Huh? Say that again.
Yeah, I agree. Triple the response. Send the National Guard. Where they pop up, send more there. You're right.
Yeah, self-snitching. Stop self-snitching, man. Shoot. Lord have mercy. Hey, I'll catch you later. Thanks for the phone
Thanks
call.
for your call.
Catch you later, buddy.
888-775-3773. You know, he brought up maybe a number of interesting things there. Namely, what was it? You know, what was it that he said? It made me think of tough response to some of these things we're talking about. And you may have seen some of this. Call it some tough response here. In fact, there's a number of things here, but kicking it off with Trump. You know, some were saying wow to this one. And the numbers are wow, especially when you got the president of the United States presenting some figures, okay? We got data compiled for you on the social media account of your president. You know, right? That's kind of like the significance. And he's just telling us, he's just a little bit of info for you. Welfare use rates in Minnesota by households with children. Which households, at what rate are they using welfare services? Any welfare service in Minnesota. If it's a native household with children, about 30%. They're using some form of welfare service. Now you look at Somali immigrant households with children. So this is families, the good families, right? It's like, it's not all just like, right? There's families coming over, okay? And they're decent. Well, this is the Somali immigrant household. So they're immigrants. They came in, but they're a family with kids in the household. 89% are using some form of welfare. What about Somali immigrant households that have been in the U.S. for 10 years, over 10 years? 86%. It really doesn't change. You can they break it down with cash, food stamps, and Medicaid. You kind of have the same picture, really. Now, all this coming from the president, I mean, is that, what's that mean? Does that mean, are all Somalians about to get deported? Like, what are you talking? You're talking about even immigrant households here who've been here 10 years? Okay. What are you saying here? Is there some action soon to happen to Somali immigrant households with children and Somali immigrant households with children who've been here 10 years, which is a travesty. What is that? What is that? Like, you're proven, and at one point there used to be a standard on that. I don't know if there still is, because I remember when we were becoming citizens in Canada, which may have been a mistake, Canada. I don't know. Maybe the Gonzaleses are a net positive, you know, fiscally speaking, in Canada. Shout out to y'all. I think some of you are actually. Some of you employ many Canadians. You know, with like, you know, you got some business going there. But where was I? I remember we had to prove, though, like, economically, like, are you making money? Are you doing this or that? All that must be changing, if not has already changed. I'm sure of it. And here, I mean, look, here's the proof. You can be here 10 years on welfare, and you're just like, that's just a good reason for you to be here and stay here. That's proving that you shouldn't be here. If you're like in this stat, you've forfeited your like any goodwill in you even coming here, right? Some more interesting kind of like moments here coming from the press secretary. She's saying, hey, we got the info here on, you know, back in 2015, 2016, Obama spying on Trump, all that. You know, a lot of tough talk coming in about that too.
Over the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump.
And, you know, she goes on a bit with more info if you want it. Kind of a throwback, though. Yeah, it's kind of old stuff, but nothing ever really happened, right? Hillary Clinton, etc. You know, I bring this up. And this other thing, too, another interesting moment, you know, allegations coming from the administration that they're full on. We are investigating on this whole redrawing of maps here in California and how it's been and how they're using illegals and their votes and stuff. And so that's like, what, investigating Gavin? Like, what's... You know, I don't know what will happen next. I personally think we really are. I mean, we really do have the conditions, in my opinion, for Trump to just be real tough on some of this stuff. I trust him, right? Like, to do it at the right time. But it's like these governors saying, you can't bring ICE here. You can't do this. You can't do that. Somalians can be here and be absolutely useless. And almost 100% of them be that way. And it's like, no, you have to accept that too. I hope it's just not talk. They go hard on some of this stuff. If they have to, I guess. Because they're not joking, right? That's kind of one good point that Art was making there when he was calling me is, yeah, they're not joking. These people... whatever they're aligned with, anti-America, anti-Christian, against the white man, colonialism, against Americanism, capitalism, whatever. You know, they're not playing around. That's for sure. They want the end of all those things. And they'll get it if it's just like, if there's nobody there to defend it, so to speak. I mean, that's just a fact. I want to get back to my calls, though, and all that. I see all of you calling in. 888-775-3773. Appreciate your support, folks. Thank you for the super chats and all that. Eric, man, coming in with some coffees. With some, with a generosity there, man. Thank you. Buymeacoffee.com/Anchor Baby says, the game. Man's job is to get sex. Woman's job is to get commitment. Women aren't doing their job. Feminism is decadence. And I think he quotes NJF there. He quotes, I think, feminism is decadence, which I believe is a quote by this NJF character. I think we know who that is. Some call him a future president. I call him no, I'm joking. Like a Jesse bit on that. So, yeah, feminism, decadence, yeah, it's so destructive. That's why it's like end game society, like end game civilization, like end stage civilizational stuff, you know? You have to right, you like amass so much wealth that you can attempt to try and turn over this order. You lie, prop women up. Let me see here. But yeah, thank you for that. Thank you, Eric. Let me see here. Thank you, all my people on Rumble. How you doing? Supporters. Amazing. Very good. Jermaine, thank you for the super chat earlier. David with the super chat says, who are you, Nicholas? Hey, what are you trying to do here? What kind of question is that, huh, David? Who are you? No, I'm not lashing out at you for asking me real questions. Okay. I think those are, and with the chronum, I believe. Where are those from again? Is that Sweden? Heard around the world? Let's go. Norwegian. That's right. Norwegian krone. Thank you for that. And I thank you for the support. Let's get to some calls. 888-775-3773. We got John out of Houston, Texas. Appreciate your call, John. You're on the air.
What's up, Mr. Nick?
How you doing,
Thank
sir?
you for taking my call.
No problem.
Did you know, like, you can argue about flat Earth and globe Earth, and then, like, did you know you can use AI on your phone, right? And you can go and argue about globe Earth and flat Earth, but since you don't really know anything, you can take a picture, you can use AI and then screenshot it, and then use what AI says as, like, grounds for, like, argument.
Say again. You can use the screenshot that you took as an argument?
Yeah, being sarcastic, but
And
yeah,
when you're having a conversation with the AI about flat Earth.
no. But Nick, what do you think about, like, the women's rights, women fighting for women's rights, and trans people and gay people fighting for so-called gay and trans right? And, you know, do you think that's, like, phony?
Yeah, man, that's definitely what I get. I get like a deep phoniness, and I wonder in it, is there anyone like even like halfway alive asking just the basic questions? I mean, what rights are you fighting for? I mean, please delineate one right that you don't have that you're fighting for. I mean, is there anyone in this thinking and like even halfway alive? And I realize it's like a lot of just like zombies. So,
But it's not. It's. I get your point. Like, I get that, and I think though, like, it's just as much phony to, like, fight with them about it. You know.
I think that's fair to say. Because why?
Because we are trying to. Yeah. So you think it's fair to say, and I'm trying to live without phoniness, you know, and draw myself closer to God. So I'm not, like, really, like, trying to, like, dismantle this system that I'm inside of, like, this governmental system that I'm inside by force. And, you know, that's just as phony, if not more phony, because, like, being phony, like, do you want to be phony? Like, you know what I mean? Just like with the people, like, in the Discord right now, fighting about if the Earth is flat or if it's a globe, like, you don't need to fight about that. You don't need to argue and resent each other about that, because you just look phony when you go to AI to do all the math. AI does all the math for you to calculate the, you know, curvature or the flatness, and you're just taking screenshots of AI, and you don't know, like, yourself, that you don't have, like you don't have your foot on solid ground. You're just, like, standing on the sand of resentment, like the Bible says, you know, if I build your house on the rock, I am the rock. When the floods come, you know, the house built on sand will slip away. So do you think that doing women's rights, those people fighting for women's rights and trans rights, do you think they're fighting out of resentment, or are they fighting with somebody for like in a locked in the battle with an eternal rival? That's my question.
No, I think they think that, but they don't. They're really, in many cases, part of a bigger conversation, dialectic plan. I don't know, whatever, than they are aware of, and out of their lack of awareness, they become a cog in someone else's plan. But some of what you described there sounds even true about how other people think, man. What does any of that have to do with your phoniness with God? Because earlier you were saying, I don't want to be phony anymore. I don't want to be phony with God. It sounds like a lot of true things you said. Sounds like
I don't think I said that. I just said I don't want to be phony, and I want to draw closer to God.
What does any of all those? What does the phoniness of all these other people have to do with your distance with God and phoniness in life?
Because like if you're phony, like you're not gonna make right friends, and like friends are going to like really like help you live life to the best, because if they have the same goals and alignments as you, and education and like knowing God and drawing closer to God is really what's going to help you like live life for what it really can be for you, and glorify God. But so what?
Why do you believe that? That you need people to live a full life, and you need friends for all the things you said. Why do you believe that?
Okay, I believe that if you have a goal, getting to that goal, you say, like, I want to draw. Like, something in me is like, I'm very creative. Like, one person might be like that. I want to draw. Well, like, you kind of, like, share, like, what you draw. If you share with the wrong people, they won't know what it's about, or they'll just, like, they'll condemn you, and, like, because they don't have time for a scrub, basically. But
why do you believe that, though? Like, what is it about that statement you made? Yeah, so that's what I was wondering. You're telling me you've experienced having friends and them fulfilling your life and needing them to achieve things, or whatever you were saying. You've experienced those things. Your life has been fulfilled by friends.
I know the opposite for sure. That my life has been destroyed by the friends I've had. And I know that.
But so then, why do you believe that friends will fulfill your life if you've never experienced that?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay, because tell me why you believe such a thing.
Because like if your goals align, it's like I'm taking an improv class, and it's like there's people that like knowledge flows easier, access flows easier, and it's builds a community that you can trust, because your goals are aligned in one direction.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
It does exist. I mean,
in your head.
Look at what George Washington did with the grace of God.
You've yet to experience it. That's never happened to you. You're describing something that you're pulling out of I don't know where, right? And I'm like, okay, so why do you believe it? Let me hear him out. And you're telling me, I don't know, man. You're just telling me like, I need.
All right.
You've
how about women?
Pain. You've experienced pain without them. But again, that's not a rational reason to believe what you're even saying. And
wait,
what is
say
any of that?
Say that again.
I'm just saying that you've yet to give me a good reason to believe what you're saying.
That you need friends to
Have a
like
fulfilled
help
life,
you.
that you need a
have
tribe and
fulfilled life.
community to do all this stuff you're saying. I don't know where
It makes
I don't
it
know where
easier.
you're seeing
It makes
that
it easier.
or where
A
you've
lot
seen that
easier.
happen. Why not just like leave it as an I don't know?
I suppose like I could say, I suppose I do say I don't know. That's why I'm aligning myself with friends that have the same goals. And then like, and I'm still thinking I don't know, but like I'm taking action and I'm, you know, growing, you know.
How? Because you won't grow with people like that. That's not how you grow.
Okay,
You
for
can work
example,
with
like
people.
For example, I had a friend. We came to work on my truck. He was like, help me work on my truck, and I felt a lot more confident about not knowing. Okay, so I
Not
felt
knowing
more
what?
confident about I don't know much about my truck, but I felt more confident about like doing what I need to do to fix my truck. Just like a father.
But that's a you thing, man. That has nothing to do with your friend. That has nothing to do with people. That's a you thing.
Right. Okay. So like
how your anxiety, your
I'm
fear,
in the shadows.
your thoughts, your discomfort or comfort. That's
So
all
let's
yours.
say what you're saying is right. I'm in the shadows. You know, I'm ignorant, and you're not saying it like
what
that.
I'm saying
but
is what I just
basically-
said. Your discomfort, your comfort, your anxiety, your confidence, all that is yours. That has nothing to do with other people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know, like where I'm gonna like go in life, or end up on down the road, and
What's that got to do with it?
But
you just went to another thought.
No, it's because right. So what are you trying to tell me?
Nothing. I'm responding to you. You said we just got finished with one topic, and then you started saying that you got to do something else.
Right. I
And
don't
what did
know
that
who
have
I
to do
am.
with anything?
Okay. I don't know who I am, but I don't trust my mind either. So because I don't trust my mind, you know, I have to exercise my mind, and I have to like at least like look at my mind. And if you have friends, it's easier because you can look at their mind, see what they think, etc.
No, because friends lie to you. They won't tell you what's on their mind. And
Right.
then
You
you'll
don't.
think,
You
and
don't.
then you'll think different. You'll think what's on their mind and just be more confused. You know, you
Well,
could
let's
you
just
could talk
let's
to people.
not say friends.
You don't have to have friends to interact with the world. You don't need to have someone, a human being with some so-called designation called friend, and that's like, now I can bounce ideas off them. Now I can talk to them. No, you could bounce ideas, talk to people, etc. Literally at any time, any place. And I mean, maybe you'll learn quickly that you could impose too, and that can be rude. But like, that's just like a matter of living, man. Don't make it too complicated.
Yes,
it's the
but
same thing.
Yes,
Your thoughts
but
are
you can't
lies.
trust your own mind.
Right,
You can't trust your
but
own
if
mind.
you pay attention, that's what you're doing. You are trusting your mind. If you go back to the call, if you back it up, listen to it again, you might notice yourself doing the very thing you're saying. But take
Well, did
heart
it
in
sound
knowing
phony?
that's the only thing. Yeah, and believing thoughts.
So that's the thing. Like you by yourself, like you are more prone to be phony.
Yeah, I mean, we're going around in circles there, John. I gotta let you go, but listen, John. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you think so, but I mean, I don't know if you notice, it's just like phony with or without people. It's not has nothing to do with anybody else. If you pay attention, what's going on inside of you has zero to do with anybody else. But yeah, it is fine to interact with people and work with people, your coworkers, people around you. Yes, it's fine to like work because you have to, and you're gonna learn. You might learn something about life and yourself if you pay attention. But John, man, I wish you well in working on yourself on that. Is there any other question?
All right,
you had?
then. Well, you said you had to go, but
No, not. I mean,
no, I didn't want to imply
did you have
anything.
another question?
Well, no, I'm gonna actually go back and listen to this, and very closely.
But by all means, if you had another question, I'm giving you that floor to ask, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Call me again, man.
All right.
888-775-3773. Ain't about anybody else. People, sometimes you get a little confused and lost, okay? And now you got all these stories in your head. But, as a little roped, hey, you're in your head, okay? It's what we've been saying. It's what Jesse's been saying. It's take heart in knowing it's just that. But okay, anyways. I don't know. I find it interesting hearing people out. You end up, you're like at first confused and you're like, wow, everybody's going through the same thing. You're blaming others. And when you blame, it's like you cannot see reality. You come up with the craziest things. You'll make no sense to anybody. But then to some of us, you actually start making sense. You're like, wow, you're going through what everybody's going through. You've blamed someone else. Your eyes are somewhere else and not you. And now you're confused. Now you're in the darkness. How do you step into the light? Eyes on you. Start there. Amazing. Last few minutes of the show, folks. Let's say hi to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. I appreciate your call, Rick. How you doing? Go ahead.
What's going on, Brother Nick?
All is well, sir.
Brother Nick, can you hear me?
Coming in clear, Rick. Go ahead.
Yes, Brother Nick, what is going on, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Just doing our thing.
Wow. Man, what do you think about this madness going on in Minnesota, man? I mean, here's my point on that. The police he's gonna be justified for sure. No one likes to see that. No one likes to see that. But the whole thing, man, they get out being disrespectful and block the ICE cars. And what they think they doing, man? I mean,
it's a game.
And you will never hear no. What you say, Nick?
They think it's a game. Please go ahead.
Yeah, and the liberals don't hold them accountable or nothing. It's like they like madness, man. They like chaos.
They really do.
And then I thought it was sort of funny when I guess what they call her wife went and told one of the ICE officers, "Hey, big boy, we get some lunch." Something like that.
Yeah.
Man. You remember that? She said, "Hey, you don't need to stop talking to us, man. You go, hey, big boy, go get you some lunch."
Just like a destructive, just
it's like she's like a man, man. She's really
and you know what's
like
one thing we missed? One thing we missed on my program when watching some of those videos, allegedly, and I was reading somewhere that she was heard. You could hear this wife of this Renee Good who was shot, who came out in that video calling that officer, "Hey, fat, hey, you go get you some lunch." Apparently, allegedly, she had said right before when they were when the officers came up to the car and said, "Hey, get out." You can hear her allegedly in the video, the wife say, "Drive, baby, drive." So she really did. She really did. Her whole spirit and energy had a part to play in this, egging her on like that. She said, if that's true, I mean, think about it. She's like, "Drive, baby, drive." That's what killed her. She drove off, and that's what killed her.
I've been pulled over a lot of times. I was a correction officer. The whole thing, niggas, about just do what we ask y'all to do, because we don't want
You're breaking up, Rick. Say that again.
What did you say, Nick?
You broke up there for a sec. You said you were a corrections officer for a long time. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did corrections in the military.
Yep.
So all we ask is the prisoners, because to be really real, they can take over the prison because it's way more of them than it is us. You probably, in most institutions, depending how big the jail is, I mean, the prison is, you probably got anywhere from maybe 100 to 200 COs or correction officers. And the rest are prisoners. If they really wanted to take it over, they could. They really could. But a lot of them just want to do their time and get out, you know?
Right.
But we always ask them, hey, just do we. Once it escalates, it is hard to de-escalate once it's escalated.
That's true, Rick.
You know, go out to the young lady, but she ain't have to end that way. She shouldn't have even been there in the first place, obstructing justice. She shouldn't have been there. This is something Biden caused.
Rick, you're breaking up, man. I don't know what's going on there.
Now, can you hear me?
Okay, that's better.
Loud and clear?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
that
that.
she brought it on herself, you were saying, I think.
Well, yeah, that, and I was saying also President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris brought all these immigrants in here, and then once they brought them in, they just released them into the interior of the country, just tell them, just get lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so now it takes ICE to come up here. Right. Now ICE got to come out and fix what Biden allowed, which he should have been held accountable about the border. Because that should be against the law for him to open the borders like that. But no one said anything to him.
It's criminal, man. They should be in jail.
The law to get everything under control. Now they want to sit up here and say it's wrong. You know, and let you know, man, the Democratic Party is a demonic institution, man.
They seem hell-bent on everything terrible for the country, man. But, Rick, that's pretty much our time for today, man. Can you call me again?
Okay. Yes, sir. I will call you tomorrow. Lord, say the same, man. We'll love you guys. Thanks for taking my call. Nick, love you. Be blessed, my brother.
Of course, man. Call me again. Thank you. Folks, we really made it to the end there. It's the last 5 minutes, so we got to go. Appreciate all the support, folks. Your calls, your super chats, and everything. Thank you for the coffees. BuyMeACoffee.com/AnchorBaby. All the people on Rumble and everywhere else. Okay, that's it from me. I do have to go. Oopsies. Take care. We're here. It's Monday. We got a week ahead of us. I'll be back tomorrow for more American Anchor Baby. It's Country Western Tuesday on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Hake Report after, and of course, more American Anchor Baby after that. Take care for now, folks. See you tomorrow. Peace.